this is Tommy, and we are going to go through the tutorial that a lot of people have been waiting for. This is the tutorial for the Igoe Flams 2020 written by Scojo. And in this tutorial, which is going to be quick and fast, I'm going to show you the notation, some helpful hints on how to play it, and I'm going to show you the video techniques I use to sync it up so that you can do it, and you can also play it with me and Scott if you want to. But first, let's see what this piece is. In case you haven't seen it, we'll get refreshed. So here it is right now.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, here it is, the notation everybody's been waiting for. This is the Igoe Flams 2020 by Scojo notation. Now, if we look at what's going on here, the first thing to see is motivic development, or in other words, repetition. So repetition is extraordinarily important in good composition. So let's look at the first two bars, because they are the thematic presentation that we're going to repeat. Okay, so you got the first bar, this is straight down, and then the second bar's got this fancy little extended 4-note things in there, which are fun. Now look at the third bar. It's the same as the first bar. Again, motivic development, repetition. Fourth bar is an answer, kind of the second bar. Okay? Little flam accents that go past the beat. Now, the fifth bar. First part, first two beats, same as the first bar. But now Scott adds a little bit of red pepper with the 30-second note singles in there. And now the sixth bar, same as the fifth bar. Again, repeating, motivic development. Very, very important. Okay, now seventh bar, flam accents. Starting on the 1 with a tap and going all the way across the bar line, where we end with some flam taps on beats 3 and 4. And then, blessedly, just 2 bars of just straight up beautiful flam parallels right down the center. And then we get to the backsticking. And so you'll notice the backsticking theme is there's one right, one left, one right, one left, 2 rights, 2 lefts. Okay? So it isn't just haphazard, all right? It's right, left, right, left, right, right, left, left. When you go then think, and then look at that. Those 2 bars, they repeat exactly in the next 2 bars. Again, motivic development. Rudimental drummers also often a lot of times feel the need to constantly mess with things. It's beautiful that Scott just put these in just like this without any kind of messing around with it. Let the repetition stand on its own. Very, very important. And Scott taught me a stick trick, which is called a high mom. And it's pretty cool. And if you look at it, actually, I can do it with a silhouette. If you're looking at it from traditional grip, you just bring it over, all right? And then you use it, you hit the tip of the stick over on that side and you bring it back. So it just goes like that, just windmills around. Bring it so you're in playing position. Stick goes down and around, and then it hits the pad, boom, right there. So you're in this position playing, and it goes down and around. It hits the hand, it goes back around. So a little bit slower. There's 1, 2, there's the tip. 3, there's the tip on 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep spinning your left hand around, okay? Now the last 2 bars are actually the most interesting of all. Scott couldn't help himself. He had to do one evil thing. And this right here, okay? See that 6? So the 6 stands for 6 in the place of 4. Normally there would be 4 30-second notes here, all right? But Scott is put in 6. So he's putting 6 30-second notes using 2 singles and then a 5-stroke roll. All right. So when you're coming off of this, that's going to be very tricky. It's a lot of notes to get in that space. All right. It's a good challenge to try to keep it in there, but don't crush it. A lot of notes in there. Now you're coming off that left right there. Boom. See that? Now, the tendency will be to cheat that 8th note on its full value and come in early. Because you have so many notes that you're going to need to cram in there, you're going to want to cheat that 8th note. Don't do it. All right? And playing it out to the end, little flam action, flam taps, little flam drag stuff there. Okay? Just a little pepper, a little red pepper, and ending with a single stroke 9. And that's it. So when you look at it, there's a ton of repetition like all good writing has. And that's the notation. screenshot this. That's why I filled up your screen with it. And you guys can learn it at your leisure. And that is Scojo's Igoe Flams 2020 from the notation. Now let's go on to the video production so you guys can do it with us. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we did this. So Scott basically just ambushed me one day and said, he sent me a text with this video right here that I'm going to show you, okay? And it was just him playing this. And it's just like, if you watch it right here. See? Just him playing it. That's all it is. All right, and so what happened with that, Scott is playing with a metronome in his ear. He's playing 124, and he has a click that we can't hear because he's got it in his headphone. So he told me the tempo, and he sent that over, and then he said, learn it, play it, sync it. And Scott's a man of few words. So I said, okay, there it is. So now I took it, and then I learned how to play it, practiced it for a while. And then this was me playing it. Right? And I have a click in my ear. The first thing you'll notice, of course, is how much superior the drumming is from Scott, but that's okay. Don't shh. So you'll see. So when you're playing this thing, I have, if you look really closely, I have an AirPod in my ear over here. Okay, so I have that AirPod, and that AirPod is clicking 124. All right. Now, it's very important to me that everybody be able to do this. So a lot of people have Macs or iPhones or something, and what I'm going to show you, you can do in iMovie. Now, I'm not sure if you can do this in the iMovie on an iPhone, but you can do it in iMovie on a Mac. Okay, and iMovie is a totally consumer video program that it's pretty amazing. It can do split screen. So what you're going to do is you and your friend are going to record your performances. Then you don't have to be even close. You don't have to do it together. I mean, if you do it together, that's great. In the same room, you're not going to need to do any of this. But what if you have a friend or somebody you just met who's a new friend during this quarantine period, and you guys aren't in the same room? This is how you're going to do it. Okay, so you open up a new project in iMovie, and you bring both performances in. Those are over here. See me doing that over there? Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now, I'm going to drag Scott in here, right, without any mercy whatsoever. And there's Scott. Boom. Now, you'll notice the blue part on the bottom, and I'll zoom in on that in a second, but those are the audio waveforms, all right? And so this is Scott. So watch from here. So now Scott this is the timeline we're looking at from left to right, okay? And now, here it goes. Watch. Yeah, it's very important that whoever plays this first counts it off. You have to count it off because you're going to know where you're going to start. Everybody else has to get ready. All right. So first person has to count it off.
1, 2, 3.
All right. There's Scott. Now, I am now going to drag me in. Boom. Look at that. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to this corner right here. See this corner right here? I'm moving my mouse around. I'm going to open that up. This is in the first double box right here. You got to go over here and you got to pick split screen. Boom. Look at that. Okay? See? Okay. Now, let's listen to this and see, wow, it's going to sound great, right? Listen. Uh-oh. What happened? Uh-oh. Huh. That doesn't sound right at all, does it? That's because when you have both performances, the other person is probably going to have a little extra or a little less count off. So you have to find the first note. I'm going to say that again. You have to find the first note of the attack. So now, if I'm going to take this off the screen, I'm going to bring this in so you guys can see it a little closer, right? And now this is Scott's audio track right here. This is Scott right here. So you can see these little lines here. The blue with the waveforms, that's when he's making noise and drumming. So that's his first note right there. See that? That's his first attack. Now Tommy's first attack is right there. Boom, right there. So now that I know where those attacks are, I have to line them up. Let's see. Right? And if I line them up, it should be pretty good. Let's see.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Right, there we go, and we're on. Now, that's the easy part, I hate to say. That's not the hard part. The hard part is actually, for the second player, he has to match the time center of the first player. And there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, if I wanted to split out this audio and jack with it, I could. But that would kind of defeat the purpose, and I would consider that cheating. So I had to listen to Scott's first performance. And again, if we listen to Scott's first performance, now I can't hear where his click is. I don't know where he is. Now, every drummer in the world who's going to play this from this day forward is going to decide whether or not they're in front of the beat or behind the beat or right on the beat. But every drummer is somewhere in there, and no one's perfect. So nobody is right in the center of the beat. Some people are a little ahead, some people are a little bit behind. And when you make this with your friend, you're going to have to, whoever the second person is going to have to listen very closely to their relationship to where their time is. Now, where do you find the time if you can't hear the click? Well, that's actually very interesting. Let's consider the first attack to be on the money, all right? Because almost everybody's first attack is pretty well on center. When you start to play different things, like when Scott wrote those 30-second notes, those will sometimes maybe lag a little behind if you have a chops issue or something, or people get to the flamadiddles, which are not very hard to play. People may rush, so there's different little things that will happen like that. But usually the first transient is a good place to go. Now, you have to have two people who have good control over their time and can play name, and basically I call it hitting the center of the metronome bullseye. So it took me about 5 or 6 tries to understand exactly how Scott was conceiving of the time in this. Because everybody has their own time. So I was listening to Scott. Now, it isn't like playing with a drummer in a drum line when you guys are there and can adjust each other and make one sound, because that's the beautiful thing about playing together in drum lines, the listening and then making a sound and adjusting and, getting that incredible cleanliness. You can't do that when somebody has already played. It's up to the second person to be able to find the time center. But luckily, Scott's a great player, and he was pretty much in the center of the bullseye. And I just had to get my stuff in the center of the bullseye, and just maybe a couple of little things just to make sure I really lined up with Scott. And then so this, when you get to this, for example, you got to make sure you're playing those in the same exact way as the first guy, right? And then when it all comes together, okay, that's what you got when it's all synced up. So you find that first attack, that first transient, and then see how you are linked up. The second person may need to adjust a little bit, but that's how you can do this using free software without doing anything that's going to break the bank. And then you guys can have everything that we had to do this. And this is most importantly, you have to agree on the tempo. Make sure each person can hear the click, play at the same tempo, and then the second person has to really, really be able to nail the time. And that's it. That's all we got. That's the entire thing for playing Igoe Flams 2020 by Scojo. Now, you could also do something really cool, which is take our video that we played where there's 2 of us together. And now you take this video and you drag that in, and then you put yourself in, so there'll be 3 of us playing on this. You can do that, okay? So you would have us down here on the bottom, and then you put yourself down here on the top, and then we would have 3 drummers playing this piece. Would that be cool? All right, guys, that's how you do it. That's the tutorial for the entire piece. Good luck. Let's see you join us.